Hi, welcome to Weekend Box Office Predictions and Movie Review. I am the Box Office Wizard, and for today's show, I'm going to give predictions on the movies that are coming out this weekend, as well as some holdovers, and also some movie news on Mad Max Fury Road, and also James Bond 25. First movie coming out this weekend is Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. It's actually been 4 years since the last Jack Reacher movie. Tom Cruise is returning in the main role again. Surprisingly, the first movie just, when it debuted, it only debuted at $15.2 million, which was kind of a big surprise. But the big argument back then was he just did not fit the characteristics of Jack Reacher in the novels. I think that reason will obviously not be a factor this time. Could be for a few, but overall, if you've seen the movie, I thought it was very good. Tom Cruise is always a great actor in movies, but I think the storyline was good to it, and I think it's going to be even better this time. The first movie, it only made $80 million here in the U.S. overall, which was actually pretty good considering it only started out at $15 million. However, though, it did make $218 million worldwide, so that's obviously why you're seeing a sequel, because it only had a $60 million budget. Kind of same scenario here, a little bit higher budget, but I do think this movie will do even bigger than what the first one did. It's only right at 2 hours. Reviews are all over the place, obviously. Some love it, some hate it. So last week, the reviews have been going up since more critics and all that have actually seen it. There's probably been some other testing and so forth. So my prediction for this movie is $20.4 million for this coming weekend. And I do think it will be the #1 movie. Another movie coming out this weekend is Tyler Perry's Boo. Obviously, Madea is back, and so many movies with his Madea character, and it's hard to compare. But the best one is the Madea Christmas, which I think came out 2 years ago, and it debuted at $16 million. I think this one should be similar to that in numbers. It's got a few more theaters playing. I think it's about 100 more. Looks pretty good. It's got a great, his movies have a great loyal fan base, and I think this movie will perform very well this weekend as well. I think I'm going to put it in at #2 this weekend. I'm going to put it in at $17.7 million for this coming weekend. Next is Ouija 2, Origin of Evil. Obviously the sequel to Ouija, and the original actually debuted. It actually came out close at $20 million, even though reviews on it were terrible. Not surprising for a lot of horror movies anyways. It's only 2 years ago though, so I actually don't see this movie coming that close to this number. I just not seen it there with this sequel of people wanting to go see it. I think there's just a lot coming out this weekend too that may hurt it also as well. However, though, I think it'll have a good weekend overall though, and for this type of movie, it's going to perform about expected overall though, but reviews are all over the place like I said. So my prediction for this movie is $16.3 million for this coming weekend. Last new movie that's coming out this weekend nationwide is Keeping Up with the Joneses. This movie stars Zach, I'm going to butcher his name, Galifianakis, Isla Fisher, John Hamm, who I absolutely love, and Gal Gadot. Movie is basically about two neighbor couples that live next to each other, and the one couple discovers that the other couple is they're international spies, so there's espionage and all that great stuff that takes place in this movie. Reviews on this movie have been terrible. And it's not going to perform very well this weekend. It's actually in 3,000 theaters, so that's the only reason why the prediction I'm giving of $5.8 million. That's the only reason why I'm giving it. So otherwise, I would even be surprised to see this movie to hit $3.5–4 million if it was even lower than that. So, but like I said, $5.8 million for this coming weekend. Holdovers, The Accountant will drop. I'm going to put it in at $13.6 million for this coming weekend. Next is A Girl on a Train. I'm going to give it a 50% drop to $6.3 million. Next is Miss Peregrine's Children at $5.4 million. Kevin Hart, which had a little bit light weekend, I'm going to give a 60% drop at $4.7 million. Storks is next. I'm only going to give it a 35% drop at $3.7 million. And rounding out the top 10 is Deepwater Horizon at $3.2 million. Hey, movie news, Mad Max Fury Road. They're actually coming out with a Blu-ray edition of this movie, and they're going to call it the Chrome Edition. What that is actually the movie's going to be in black and white. I forget the director's name who directed it. However, though, he said that this was actually his favorite version of the movie, And the black and white version was supposed to be included when the Blu-ray did come out, but for some reason it did not. So my reason, they want to make more money off of it. So because most of us is going to run out and buy it to see what it's like. So it's supposed to come out December 6th this year, so plenty of time for Christmas. And like I said, it's going to be a black and white version. James Bond 25. Daniel Craig actually had an interview at the New Yorker Festival here recently, and he was basically asked about his wanting to be James Bond again or not. He actually stated that when his comments that he made, I think it was 6-7 months ago, about he'd rather cut his wrist than actually be James Bond again. He said at that point in time when he was asked that question, he was exhausted from the last movie, still tired. He basically compared it to running a marathon, and then as soon as you cross the finish line, someone's going to ask you, "Hey, what's your next race?" He said now that he's had time to focus and so forth, he didn't rule it out. He didn't say yes, he's for it, but there was actually enough, they're calling it wiggle room, where he has not, it hasn't been confirmed or denied. So be great to see him for James Bond 25. So let me know what you think about that below. Hey, that's it for today's show. Get your comments in below, or I'm sorry, your predictions in the comments below. Also, in the prediction or in the comments below, boy, I'm just muddling this all up here at the end. List your favorite horror movie that you like this time of year. I'd like to maybe check out some new ones if there's something I haven't heard of. So, hey, I'll be back on Monday giving you predictions you can count on. They're better than the weatherman. Take care.